Welcome to the 99th PGA Championship. This is the 1:35 starting time. Now on the tee, please welcome from Spain, Sergio Garcia.
And Sergio with some work to do, beginning this second round at 4 over par. That is the projected cut line.
And certainly so, players taking note of some hot rounds out there on the golf course today. Know this course is gettable. First and foremost, you've got to find the fairway here. It's par 5, very demanding, back down the hill.
Go get him, Tiger.
504 yards, 288 to the bunker on.
And a good start for Garcia.
Now on the tee, please welcome from West Palm Beach, Florida, Brooks Koepka.
A very square setup. You see how the soft right side where the right arm bends a little bit. Helps him fold that club back into a square position. Absolutely can launch it.
Yes, that is launched.
That is certainly launched. Able to take it over the dog leg there. And well positioned already from the get-go. Whole location on that front left section today.
Now on the tee, please welcome from Dallas, Texas, Jordan Speith.
One-star ovation there. Is it enough to carry that rough? Certainly is. Jordan Speith off to a good start. Out there by Koepka. He went ahead and got that one too. 3 nice tee shots at the opening hole for this marquee group.
This year's major champions, Garcia, Speith, and Koepka.
This should be exciting this afternoon. I can't wait to watch all 3 of these players showcase their talents, but it's going to be interesting to see how Garcia rebounds after yesterday's 4 over par round of 75. Starts the day currently on the cut line.
Here's a look at Jordan Spieth's first round scorecard. And 4 bogeys, 3 birdies for Jordan. And he starts the day 9 shots off the lead.
Man, that's pretty cool right there. The 3 major champions this year.
We saw some great camaraderie in our first featured grouping of the day with Rahm, Fowler, and McIlroy. They all commented about how great it was to play together. And you're seeing early on this featured grouping laughing and walking together.
Took a look here at the drive of Garcia, drops it inside, lays the club off, squares the club up with the rotation of the body to a full finish. Jordan Spieth, a totally different approach there. Takes the club on a straighter line back, then follows it hard with his right side. And that overlapping grip there, not used by many players. Really old school Jordan Spieth's approach to the game. Three major champions there. You got the U.S. Open champion, Masters, and the Open champion now. Just waiting to crown one more. Could it be Jordan Spieth's time for the career Grand Slam? Much has been made about that. Early on this week, he's been asked quite a few times about it. He said he's not really thinking about it, and I agree with him. Sometimes, you know, you get the answer from players that you want to hear. I'm thinking about this. I got the tournament in hand. Hey, this guy's 24 years old. He's going to have a number of PGAs left to play. Long-time caddy there, Michael Greller.
In the Masters era, since 1934, the youngest to win a third major title. Jordan Spieth, the second youngest, behind only Jack Nicklaus. You know, getting back to your point, Rory McIlroy said that, you know, after he won the third of his majors, going for the career Grand Slam at the Masters, he had a lot of time before the Masters began, a whole off season to think about chasing down that career Grand Slam. Jordan Spieth's had 2 weeks, so there's not as much time for it to simmer, and Jordan, as he said, just gonna have chances. Feels pretty good as you see their 3 excellent tee shots to start their second round.
All 3 drives over 300 yards. Spieth will be first to play, 187 yards. And this second shot plays slightly back downhill. Good location on that front left today. Good angle from the right hand side where Spieth will be playing for it. Actually, it will be Garcia first to play. One thing about Garcia, and he's got his scoring clubs in there, he can actually spin the ball so hard. He can get out to a lot of these hole locations a lot of players can't, and that's a perfect example right there.
Great start for Sergio. A look for birdie at the first.
Yeah, beautifully done. He comes down, the club gets laid off, then he actually, with the rotation of the body, the club flips over, comes into actually a pretty sharp angle of attack. At the start of the downswing, it wouldn't look like it. It'd be very shallow. Kevin Kisner is in the clubhouse with a round of 67 for par today, and he has got a 4-shot lead.
Back-to-back 67s for Kisner. That's quite a statement out of the gate here at Quail Hollow. Now Spieth
trying to draw it off that lie that's just below his feet. A little zealous there, pumped up, hit a good shot, hit it right on the button. He likes it. He likes it. Oh, my.
Now here's Koepka with an 8-iron. 183 to the hole.
Yeah, playing downhill, playing more like 165 yards.
That's nicely done.
Brute strength there. Easy. There's a fall-off section right there. A little stay. How about that driver 8-iron to a hole that measures 504 yards from the get-go. You can't make these golf courses long enough for some of the big hitters in the game. They find a way. Both Garcia and Koepka will have great looks for birdie. Jordan Spieth, second shot over the green. Not much green to work with for his third.
Very confident Brooks Koepka going up to the green at number 1.
Yeah, you know, as players we talk about, you know, guys that once they get their first major under their belt, his name has always come up. You get one, it could be, he could run off a few in a row. This guy's got it all. He's got touch around the greens. And I think more importantly, when you look at Koepka as a player, you look at his mannerisms. His highs are not too high and his lows aren't too low. And that's a perfect combination, especially when you're playing tough golf courses.
About this longest
for this bunker, just get it on the edge, should spin from here.
Nice recovery from Speith.
And it's almost like a powdered sugar there, and it's tough to get a lot of spin on there. You have to have a lot of speed, one, and the correct entry into the ball. Spin the ball, and that was well done there by Speith. Koepka.
20 feet away.
8-iron from 183 yards. Just carry the edge of the bunker on the left-hand side. Steady on that putting stroke.
Great putt.
What a
Koepka.
beautiful stroke, man. He was rock steady. Head stayed still, rocked his shoulders back and forth, finished his putting stroke. Did everything like he's supposed to except for go in the hole. Down the slope, looks good, looks good. Oh, just catches the left edge.
Sergio Garcia with his birdie attempt. Just inside 10 feet for Sergio. And that one trails out to the right.
That's a pretty weak putt, to be honest with you.
So tap in pars for Sergio, looks to be for Koepka, and now Speith trying to finish off par after his approach shot went into the greenside bunker.
Well done there. His approach shot right on the top of the flag, unable to hold the green. Great up and down there for Speith.
So 3 pars on the first hole for our featured grouping. And now with our virtual eye technology, we take a closer look at the second hole.
Yeah, par 4. Dogleg right to left, 451 yards. Smart choice here. You'll see a number of the players we saw early on today. It's another good look as that fairway works from right to left, but the slope of the fairway goes left to right. Tendency here is to lose it left. Kicker is here. You'll see with this 3 with Garcia, he'll just try to A lot of times he actually plays the ball toward the center of his stance and tries to squeeze one out and actually work it a little bit from right to left. That went down at it, turned it a little bit right to left, hanging out to the right, started to turn over. All depends on the lie there.
Sergio teeing off here in the afternoon, well aware of what he needs to do to stick around for the weekend.
Well, he certainly does know. You know, granted, these guys are trying to win major championships, but you want to, even though he's got his first major, Garcia, you want to be around for the weekend in a major. You just gain so much more experience. Now Koepka also going with 3-wood.
Oh, hits a tree, comes right down into the first cut.
Pretty nice break there. Back in the first cut, as you said.
Speith also with less than driver on this par 4, 451 yards, second hole.
He's gone over the left-hand side of the tee box. I like this. Gives him a little bit more room out to the right to start the ball. Doing just that. It's all about creating angles. Should be fine there.
Ranked number 2 in the world. And Speith in the fairway here at the second hole. You're watching live coverage of the 99th PGA Championship.
Depending on the lie here, he would actually probably have to land this ball just short on that front section green, try to chase it back there.
Pretty remarkable, Billy Ray. Sergio from Spain. There have only been 6 European-born PGA champions in the history of the tournament. 1916, England's James Barnes. 1919, Scotland's actually Barnes won twice, 16 and 19. Then Jock Hutchison won in 1920. Tommy Armour in 1930. Padraig Harrington in 2008, Martin Keimer in 2010, and Rory twice, 2012 and 2014. Compare that to the Open Championship, 49 European-born champions, U.S. Open 23.
Just out of the first cut here. Still think he will not try to maybe flat on the front quarter of the green, which is right about 128 yards. Excuse me, check that. This 8 iron, 158 yards, and chase it back. He's got the line. He'll actually try to hit down on this and try to flight it down. Solid contact there. Leaking a bit right in the collection area. No, finds the bunker.
Now Jordan Spieth, 176 yards to the hole.
Set up well left here. The influence of shot there from Garcia. Certainly, I think just left of the holes is the miss here today. 7 iron there for Speith. Bringing it in from the left. Back-to-back shots, strong for Speith. Solid contact, that's for sure.
A little disbelief there from Speith that he was that long. Now Koepka.
We saw this earlier today from McIlroy, where he could drive the ball. Wedge now for Koepka.
165 with a wedge.
Yeah, what a controlled swing there. Wow, that was fantastic. Should chase back a bit. All right, very smart shot, helping breeze there. Light rain continues to fall here at Quail Hollow Club. Second round of the PGA.
The weather is changing, though, a little bit overhead. There's a look at the clouds, some dark skies, and you can see we're in the top right. You can see that little dot that says PGA Championship. And again, doesn't look to be anything too heavy.
You know, like I said, as long as we don't have lightning, the players can, you know, stay out there. Once the lightning approaches, if it comes up in some of these passing showers, certainly that would be cause for concern, but just a light rain now. We've avoided anything up to this point. Weather's been absolutely perfect, in my opinion. Still just a light breeze there. It's a little drizzle falling now, but look at this golf course. A lot of
said everything else was fine. It was just the putter. Bunker play actually made a lot of progress on. I bailed on my 2 bunker shots I had today, which was frustrating. It was just the bunker play and the greens.
When he says the word bail, that means you know the shot that you're going to hit, and you just don't commit to the execution of the shot. And for a player, that's the worst. You'd rather hit a poor shot trying to execute the proper shot than just bail out and get the ball somewhere on the green. Quick coming down the hill, turning to the right. Run out there, though. Look at that run out. All right. Okay, it looks good. Okay, whoa. Whoa, big fella. Stop.
Now it's Koepka. After his big drive, he's got 27 feet for birdie.
Yeah, coming back up the hill. You can be aggressive with this putt.
And leaves it a little short.
You have control of your yardage. You can keep it below the hole here. Yeah.
Koepka opens with back-to-back pars, and he remains 5 shots off the lead. See if Sergio can save par. Again, the projected cut line 4 over. This would take him outside the cut line, and he cannot save par.
Weak putt at the first hole there, pulled on the second hole.
So a bogey 5 at the second for Sergio. Now he's 5 over par. There you see the projected cut at +4. Right now 77 players at +4 or better. Top 70 and ties play the weekend here at Quail Hollow. Speith had a lot of run out after that birdie attempt. Left with this for par.
Yeah, not much break, pretty straight. Oh, that's a big confidence boost putt there for Jordan Spieth. He missed a couple of those yesterday. You touched on it.
And our feature group now heads over to the third hole. As we look at this third with our virtual eye technology, a par 4.
You see that we talk about it. You know, players like some curvature. You know, it's especially off the tee shot. When you have a fairway that's dead straight and really not many visual bunkers to take it off. Koepka loves to play the shot from left to right. That's his go-to shot, control fade. Starts the left side, little baby fade, back toward the left-hand side of the fairway. Oh, wow. Well executed, too, and a lot of run out.
Koepka in a nice groove so far this week at Quail Hollow.
You notice, totally different approaches in the way they swing the golf club. We saw Koepka there with the soft right side where it falls back. Jordan with a very straight right arm. One-piece takeaway. Actually hits down on the ball, flights a little bit different. Got over the top of that one there.
And to the left. Into the rough. You can see it.
It's a good thing. Not many trees down the left-hand side, so the corridor and the trees are about 10 yards to the left. He'll have a clear path to the hole, but not the best of angles. Have to come over that bunker on the left-hand side. His hands are at address there. He takes it back. This is what I love. The lag that he gets. When I mean lag, that on the way down, shaft drops down on the plane. I love how he rotates to square the club face up with his body, doesn't use his hands. Not bad.
Just into the first cut for Garcia, who's 5 over with the cut line at +4. Our live coverage rolls on from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Just waiting on the group ahead.
And we were on the air 8:25 this morning. Have you noticed any significant changes in the way the course is playing?
I haven't. The only thing that we dealt with early this morning was players in the rough. With that morning dew, it became heavier. And there was a little bit more unpredictable the way it was going to come out. Now it's dry. You look at Jordan Spieth back in the back there at part of your screen. He's got a lot of grass behind the ball. He's got a potential of a huge jumper here. He can catch contact, but any grass gets caught between the club face and the ball creates moisture, and it actually almost like a little sheen against the grooves of the club face to control. That's what controls the ball, or the grooves on the. It's almost like a tire. That ball runs up there, creates spin, and that's how you control it. When you have any type of moisture, anything that impedes the grooves actually hitting the ball, then obviously lack of spin, the ball just rockets through the air. Look at the gallery here, man. Look at the bird's eye view there. You got Speith and Garcia right there. Man, okay. Two of the best players in the world. Then you go up there and look at the U.S. Open champion Bruce Koepka, who's bombed it out there. And the thing about what would it be like to be inside the ropes playing the PGA. And here's the look, our virtual eye of what these three players have left. That tree on the left-hand side will not be an issue for Speith. 171 yards. And what a tee shot by Koepka. He's going to have 150 yards. Not the best of angles for Speith with that whole location on the left-hand side.
Yeah, the tree won't be an issue, but as you mentioned, got to be very careful with the way this ball comes out of the rough.
Right. That tree's about 45 yards short of this green. Sounds like he caught it a little bit heavy on the top of the face. It might come up short. Actually, no, the ball did fly out of that lie. And hold on from there. That is so quick. There's a huge ridge between himself and the hole there that once it gets going downhill, it will be racy. And that's the problem you have when you drive in the rough. Luckily, you can get a club on it.
Here's Garcia. Has 164 left to the hole. He's going to go with a pitching wedge here from 164.
That's all the pitching wedge. There is a little bit of help of wind from left to right. I expect though with this club though, he didn't want to miss it short left. It should be out to the right. Right at it. Oh man, just not enough club, kept it short. Let's see the false front.
There it goes.
Look good in the air. Now you got your work cut out for you.
Koepka, middle of the fairway, 149 to the hole. Trying to make his move up the leaderboard, but he does not love this one. And that for birdie for Koepka, who's open with consecutive pars here in the second round. You're watching feature group 2 from the PGA Championship.
Jordan Spieth, we talked about after his second shot got away from him from out of the rough on the left-hand side, and he has got a gradual slope that starts off about 15 feet once this ball gets underway, and then it works its way back down the hill and picks up a ton of speed. Try to send it out to the right, let it go to the apex. Look how much break he's playing here. Back off and get it. This is just a touch putt. He'll try to get it to the apex where exactly where he wants to, then let it start turning to the left, then catch the slope right there to the hill, catches the slope right there, should start turning left and picking up speed.
Did not turn as much as he anticipated, and it rolled a lot further than he would have hoped.
Yeah. Well, that's all set up by putting the ball in the rough. Would expect.
Now Koepka was a little disappointed in his approach. He's hoping to bring this in a bit tighter. Still has a putt for birdie to get to 4 under.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's coming downhill, but you know, at least he's on the proper level down there below. Easy. He's still going to have some work left himself. Just wondering, the pace of these greens, they can get away from you. Now Garcia to remain at +5. It will hard move to the right at the end. Such a hard putt to read. Man,
not
he's got
done
some
yet.
work. Yeah, for left for his bogey. Now the rain begins to fall. Add insult to injury there.
This is the hardest we've seen it rain so far this second round.
It's hard to get when you have putts that break that much to match up the speed and also the break.
What part of the game is most affected by a rain like this?
First and foremost, I think now, if you're driving in the rough here at Quail Hollow Club, actually the rough gets a little denser. But I think pitching around the greens, once the rain, Speith now will be a bogey, 3-putt. I think pitching around the green, when you start missing greens, you get that light little film of moisture on the greens, and the ball tends to skid. You don't get the true roll in which you have, but also, it's a hindrance. Things you have to go regroup. It takes longer to play your shot. If you're a fast player, you've got to slow yourself down. The player-caddy relationship really shows exactly where it needs to be. Michael Grell there, patting off the umbrella to Speith, keeping the player dry, now keeping the towels and whatnot. It's certainly bothersome, that's for sure. I was a terrible rain player. I didn't have the patience. I hated playing in the rain. I'd rather play in, gales. All right.
A bogey for Sergio Garcia. That's his second bogey in the first 3 holes, and now +6 with the cut line at +4. Just tucks that one in. 3rd straight par for Brooks Koepka. He's still 3 under.
The rain is starting to fall really hard there. Looks like an isolated shower, though. That's just it. Look at the weather mat there. See, it's just a passing shower there. There's some stuff to the southeast.
Top right, PGA Championship. You can see the heavier stuff appears to be to the north. All right, next up, it's a very challenging 4th hole. Challenging because of this green.
Yeah, the yardage didn't affect you really. 185 yards, not the issue. But the green complex has played havoc with the players throughout the week. Not a level spot on the screen, but I think the hole location today on that left-hand side, actually you have a chance there if you flat it correctly. You can get pretty close, almost a little funnel there on the left-hand side, helping grease from right to left. No matter what, though, if you're off the mark by much, the 2 putts at this green are very difficult. It's not bad miss, though, if you're hole high to the left. You think not short-siding yourself, you don't want that. But that bunker shot up on the left-hand side, that far bunker, that just hole high left, is a very simple bunker shot coming back up the hill. I think you have to play almost long here. I know that sounds weird. You're trying to keep the golf course in front of you, but get something up there to make sure you can get it to the pin high.
Well, Koepka made 2 bogeys yesterday, and this 4th hole is where he made 1 of them. And after his round, he was one of a few golfers that made a comment about this 4th green. He said, quote, "It's too undulating. I think if they had made the green a little bit flatter, it would have been a little bit better, but it's not." He also added, "Everyone has to play it, so I'm not going to let it bother me." But he was one of a few that did make a comment specifically just about this green complex.
8 iron for Koepka. Yeah, well on its way. Good looking strike here. Just powers it through there. That ball nestles down. Wow. absolutely torched that 185 8-iron. That ball carried a long ways.
Our virtual eye technology has added the rain here at Quail Hollow.
That's a nice look there. Koepka's ball carried a good 195 yards with that 8-iron. There is a helping breeze from the right. That is amazing. Carried that ball that hard, hit it right on the button. Now Speith.
Jordan now at 2 over par after the bogey at 3, and this is an 8-iron as well for Speith.
I think Speith's going to have to get it all, though, to be honest with you. Koepka's really long with those short irons. Oh, wow, what a break.
On.
Right club now. He'll have a good look. You know, I respect the comments there by Koepka. But, you know, once you start making the first comment about a hole, the hole's in your head. Just refrain from saying anything. I'm sorry. You know, it is what it is. You know, talk about it at the end of the week when it's said and done. Every player has to, he finished off that quote by saying everyone has to play it. Yeah, true, but just don't talk about it. It's in your head already. He flies it over the green here. Now Garcia. He picks almost identical to Speith. Back towards the green, runs away from the player. I have to agree, though. I mean, there is a lot of undulations. Jordan Spieth's got it in there close. Sorry. Hit the correct shot.
Sergio Garcia cannot afford too many hiccups. He is outside the projected cut line. Kevin Kisner continues to lead.
He's got some swing here from left to right. What a 2 this would be.
21 feet away, but he leaves it.
Yeah, he was on the move early there, Andrew. Wow. As soon as he hit it, he almost beat it up to the hole before it came to rest.
Speith wants to finish. And a par for Speith at the 4th. 1 over on his round and 2 over for the championship.
This putting be aggressive with about 3 balls outside left and firm.
Big putt for Brooks Koepka.
What a cool customer there. Huge putt there for Koepka. That, yeah, I love that way that went in the hole.
So let's go over now to the 5th, par 4, playing 454 yards, and you see bunkers on either side of the fairway here at number 5.
Yeah. 310 yards. That's a, well, for Koepka, that bunker is in play, but that's one you would be aiming at off the tee. And the whole location in the back right today. We've seen a few birdies at this hole. I think helpful wind in from the right. That whole location where it's located today. way the green is configured here at the 5th, it kind of sits on the diagonal from left to right, so you don't get to play the full length of the green unless you're coming in from the left-hand side.
Say, Brooks.
Looks like that rain has pretty much stopped.
Yeah, just a little passing shower. Good break for players on the course this afternoon. And up to this point, though, we said at the top of the show yesterday morning it would be interesting to see who got the better draw at the tee times, either early late or late early, and right now there's really been not much of a difference.
It's a good point.
Andrew, for some reason, when he hits, it's a different sound than what I make.
We pointed that out on our virtual eye technology. That bunker well within his reach, and he reached it.
That was torched. Flies at about 315 there. Powerful. Footwork here. Impact. Right foot comes up a little early sometimes. That one stayed down nicely. Trying to work it off that bunker. Right there. Jordan has a tendency as he's coming down, his left side fires a little early and the right side gets a little high and traps it. That right foot there stayed down, actually rolled to the inside, kept him level. Footwork such a key component to accuracy. I mean footwork, and that means staying stable with your balance and also stability with the lower body.
Tee shot for Garcia at the 5th. That one's headed a little right. Will it be okay?
Oh yes. Wow. Watching it closely.
Catches the fairway. Kisner by 3 at Quail Hollow.
Speaking of that, Speith not doing just that.
It's going to fly more than that, though.
Finds the fairway here at the 5th.
6. Number 52. Just left of this. Huh? Yeah. Yep, correct. You got the 64 behind. I agree. It's just light and variable. That's what you're feeling.
Light and variable. Enough to affect the shot. That's basically telling Jordan, don't worry about it, hit the shot. Don't overthink it. A perfect position, ball below his feet. It's 9-iron for Speith. When you take a chance at here, slightly back up the hill. Just a bit left of the hole, coming over that ridge. Stay there. It does. Pretty ordinary there.
Now Koepka's tee shot went into that bunker. Brooks has 160 left to the hole. Currently tied for 4th place. And that one comes up short.
Wow. Came out dead.
Sergio well positioned here at the 5th.
Yeah, he's got to come over that bunker, though. That's the issue. This is a pitching wedge, though. We talked about at the top of the show how he can spin the ball. Holding the post here.
Does not get it over the bunker.
Trying to force one in there, Andrew, to no avail.
With our feature grouping of Koepka, Garcia, and Speith, and on the right of your screen, Koepka getting set to hit his 3rd shot.
Lays it into the base of that slope, takes it back up there. He'll have another lengthy par putt from off the green. Maybe a pitch now. Yeah, a lot of players have thought that too. Tried to hit it in that ridge. Actually didn't take anything off of it.
Garcia out of the bunker. Look at this.
Such class there from Garcia.
Newly married Sergio Garcia.
Koepka. Saw that ball go up and over that slope, pitching back into the grain.
Oh, nearly saved it. But instead, Koepka will drop a shot here at the 5th. That'll move him out of a tie for 4th.
Mistake there with the wedge coming up short. Poor pitch shot for his 3rd. Almost saves par with that little pitch. It'll be a 1-putt bogey though.
Here's
Speith.
Jordan Spieth for birdie. He's going to get it there. Good effort, but Speith will have to settle for par.
She'll probably finish there. No one's through line. First round of the course right now. Ooh. In the afternoon, Francisco Molinari, he's 3 under through 5 holes, starting on the backside. Something for these players here, starting on the front side, to look forward to. Rain begins to fall once again. Starting at the 10th, it's a par 5 you can get to. These players just finishing up here at the 5th. Garcia, safe par after coming up short with his second out of the bunker.
Sergio still at 6 over. 2 shots outside the projected cut line.
In the back of your mind, you talked about the Green Mile. Is he thinking about that? He's thinking about holes like number 7. He can make his move there. Get up a par 5 reachable. For sure, if you find the fairway. Koepka there for bogey.
And drops him to 2 under par in 6 shots behind Kevin Kisner. And here comes the rain again. Some of the fans scurrying for protection. Those that did not bring an umbrella. See, we're in that top right portion of the radar map and
played more like 220 yards. Subsiding somewhat. Jordan loves to work this club from left to right, indicating here with this toe line is exactly what he's going to try to do.
Yes, sir.
Fades it back. Oh, solid hit there. Stay on the front. It's the false front right there.
Hang on now.
That was a really good shot there. It was not rewarded for that. Driving rain into the breeze. Well struck there by Speith. Not the result. But you have to look at that as a player and go, man, I hit that right on the button, hit the shot I was trying to execute. Didn't work out. Garcia.
Trying to get something going here in his second round.
I absolutely love it when he's home, when he hits these long irons, low penetrating flight, and it balloons up there with some spin. Oh man, this is flamed out to the right there. Probably going to come up a bit short too. Oh my, what a shot. Man, I didn't think I was going to get there. Wow, one of the best of the day.
Garcia will have a chance for birdie here at the 6th.
Awesome. Big fashion look there for Brooks. Pocket out on the left. What's the difference in ball flight here from Koepka to Garcia? Straight up in the air, trying to bring it in from right to left.
Great shot, Sergio.
And not bad from there. It's got to pitch back up the hill. And there's a great look of the false front there on the left where Jordan Spieth's ball just pitched into the base of that false front, got to the very top, held on for just a moment, then came back down probably some 5 or 6 yards back in the fairway. Now Speith, he'll have to contend with that false front as he pitches from that left-hand side up and over that slope. Then it goes downhill to the right. You know, for a green that's a hole that measures 243 yards, there's certainly a lot of movement in this green. What a shot by Garcia, though. Man, he really worked that ball hard from left to right. That was a call shot. Thought it was going to come up short, but lands it just on the front edge. Perfectly judged.
Good look here from the green. You see how much downhill this 6th hole plays. Take a look at the updated leaderboard with Woodland, Olesen, and Chris Stroud all at 4 under par, which is 4 shots behind Kevin Kisner. What a start to Kisner, for Kisner in this PGA Championship. Not too far away. He's a native of Aiken, South Carolina, and feeling right at home here at Quail Hollow. His parents actually grew up in Charlotte, and his brother-in-law is a member at Quail Hollow. And Garcia just 13 feet for birdie.
Best shot of the day so far. You look at the graphic there. See the Speith shot there coming up and over the ridge. Koepka probably of the two of Speith and Koepka has the easier shot, even though Speith has got to come back up the hill.
Speith will be first to play.
Rehearsing, just trying to brush the top of that. Issue with this, though, you saw the ball come down that false front. The grain of the grass is going against him here. So just off a mark, a little too steep here. This ball will come up short. Let's try to flight it down here. Catch the ball first. Up into that ridge.
With these greens, the way it was with these greens, it would be freaking hard, but fair. Now it's just a fucking whatever. Cost $10.
You know, earlier we talked about when that rain started, Andrew, early on, and you asked me the question, what was the most difficult thing about when you have the recent rains? And I said, you know, and that was a perfect example there that we talked about earlier, that there's a little sheen on there. The ball tends to skid just a little bit, almost hydroplaning. Jordan trying to play that shot, usually a couple grabs and bounces and grabs, but that ball's a huge skid off first. That's from the recent rain.
Koepka's second. To get back to that, that's something you have to start factoring in with the way the rains come down the last hour or so.
Yes, certainly so. We saw it back at the third hole when pitching would be an issue there. Very well done there by Koepka. Coming off the bogey at the par 4 fifth. Sergio with the best shot here at this par 3 so far today.
Yeah, just sneaking in there ahead of Jimmy Walker and Omar Uresti, who's one of the 20 club pros in the field, and none of them made the cut last year. Omar is in great shape this year.
Yeah, certainly so. He had a round of 1 under par today. He's going to be 2 over par for the round, for the tournament. Going to play on the weekend here.
Jimmy Walker at +8 will not be around for the weekend as Sergio.
He's only hit, you know, he's hit some really poor putts.
Yeah.
That's Garcia. He is. After a shot like that, you want to cash that in, but he has hit some really poor putts up to this point, has Garcia.
And Garcia is in danger of joining Walker and not being around for the weekend. 2 shots outside the projected cut line.
Take a look at this stroke here. He's got to play it outside of the left, takes it back on the inside. Not too bad there, but just did not borrow enough break. A total misread there. That's actually a pretty good stroke. Ball started on the line where he was looking at. Solid contact right out of the center of the club, but just a terrible read.
Yeah, a couple left, and I'm missing it this part right.
He missed it that far right because you didn't play enough break out to the left. And now Speith.
It's caddy Michael Greller right over his shoulder as they were reading that putt, as Jordan tries to save par.
Look how level his shoulders are when he goes left hand low. Putter blade will stay. Great look there. Does it hold its line? Buried it. What a save there by Speith. What great camera work also, man. A great look at his stroke there. Man, you get your left hand low, you get your shoulders level, man, that stroke actually stays close to the ground throughout the time.
Now Koepka trying to finish off his par, remain at 2 under.
A little different approach for Koepka. Has his hands high. You'll see the heel of the putter just off the ground there. You see that's a perfect look once again there.
Wow.
Not too many players do that. Hands are high, heel of the putter's up. You better make sure that you rock your shoulders back and forth, or you do lose it out to the right once you get a little handsy. Let's take one more look at it here. There's the putter up, catches it off the toe, putter blade open at impact. Misses everything. Got it lined up. Just brought that inside there. Started it on the toe, brought it inside, and did a little rerouting down. That putt hit it in the center there.
Back-to-back bogeys for Brooks Koepka. He's gone from 3 under to 1 under, and now 7 shots off the lead. Good news for this grouping. They're headed to the par 5 7th hole. An opportunity for birdie or maybe better.
Yeah, certainly 524 yards today, this par 5. Water down the right-hand side definitely comes into play. Bunkers off the left-hand side, certainly in play. I think that's a great direction to hit it. Even though players, you know, I think the call shot here is down the left-hand side and fade it back toward that water down the right-hand side. Then you find the fairway, then you had a long iron left in to a hole location. I think you can get at today if you're on the left-hand side of the fairway. You miss left there, it goes down the collection area, and just right, just 8 paces right of this flag, that ball will not just take off, it will funnel down to that right front portion of this green. And the rain just trickling here, just a sprinkle.
3 eagles today, including one by Kisner, who chipped in from just off the green. That took him from 6 to 8 under par, which is where he finished through 36 holes. Now, you get the feeling that especially Speith and Garcia, now Koepka with back-to-back bogeys, this grouping needs a little jump start here. They got to get going.
Yeah, this is a hole that you can actually do it on too. And you know, they just got themselves out of position. That's the hard part about this golf course. You get yourself out of position from the get-go, it's hard to recover. .294 to that bunker on the left. Just at the inside part of that bunker down the left-hand side. Watch the takeaway. It will come pretty much straight back, one-piece takeaway. Starts to just right in the center of that bunker, trying to fade it back. Is it enough? Certainly is.
Good shot from Speith. Off and running here at the 7th.
This is a move that he's going to have to make right here at the 7th hole. He can't wait to 14 and 15 to try to make his move. He's got to do something here. He's got to be aggressive with this tee shot. More find the fairway. He's lost a few out to the right today. Just a little late delivering the club head.
Shot, Sergio. Thank you.
He likes that one. Carries it 307 yards, a little bit of extra rollout, and Garcia in a good spot to try to make up some ground as he's right now outside the projected cut line. He's tied for 82nd.
Yeah, that position where he's put it there, and he'll be forced to play a little left to right shot. Yeah, Koepka, after back-to-back bogeys at 5 and 6.
Four left.
That's headed left. And into the pine straw for Brooks Koepka, who's struggling these last couple of holes. Back-to-back bogeys, and now misses the fairway at the big par 5, 7th. Koepka's fallen down into a tie for 10th. He's 7 shots behind the leader, Kevin Kisner. Back-to-back 67s for the Aiken, South Carolina native here at the 99th PGA Championship. Just off the green, using the putter. Eagle for Kisner in what was his 16th hole of the day. That propelled him from 6 under to 8 under, which is where he finished. And Kevin Kisner, as we take a look at his scorecard, certainly appears that he'll be in the final group tomorrow. How do you think mentally Kisner will sleep on this lead and come out tomorrow afternoon?
Great question. No problem whatsoever for Kisner. He likes his stage. He will not have an issue sleeping. And he will relish this chance here. From the player standpoint, he is well respected as a player.
And now live on the 7th hole, where Kisner made the eagle earlier, it's Jordan Spieth. But the group ahead still on the 7th green, so a bit of a wait for our current feature grouping. You know, yesterday Jordan Spieth had a rather popular guy following him around, following Koepka and Garcia as well as Michael Phelps, of course, the decorated Olympian. Jordan said that they've become good friends. In fact, he said that Phelps has become somewhat of a mentor. They've had dinner together, they've hung out a few times before, and Phelps has helped Jordan with mental approach in terms of the makeup and the moxie needed to continue to compete at such a high level, something Phelps has done for many, many years before retiring. 23 Olympic gold medals for Michael Phelps.
That's amazing. You know, it's funny how some of the best players in the world look to each other to try to get that edge. Michael Phelps, not a bad golfer himself. He was in Atlanta last year following Speith, the Tour Championship. And,
I'm with you. Yep.
certainly probably he's picked not Jordan picking his brain. I'm sure he's picked Jordan's brain, his approach to the game of golf.
Green is clear now. And Speith with 220 to the hole.
Just a beautiful look there, helping breeze. You see with the flags behind the green here at 7. Trying to bring it in here from left to right.
It's got to go. Comes up short. Speith still looking for his first birdie of the day.
Now you see the shot here. Garcia's got 210 yards below. It's going to be below his feet. You have to be concerned here, making sure you start it far enough left here. Oh, he's lost this out to the right. Needs to get up.
Oh boy.
And that's the issue with the ball below your feet. The ball, he just never got it started far enough to the left there. Unable to square the club face up. Strike wasn't that bad.
Koepka, you can see in the pine straw after a 328-yard drive, has 207 to the hole.
This wouldn't surprise me from Koepka. I mean, he's got control of his ball. You know, it looks like, okay, you can pitch it out and try to lay it up. But I think what he's going to try to do, coming off the pine straw. I think he's going to start it right there at the right edge of the water. Maybe he's got a couple options here to go left. I think he should go to the right and try to work it away from this water. Lie's not too bad. You can get a clean hit on it. You'll notice here. Watch him hover the club head just over the top of the ball. He will not ground it. Actually, he's going to go left here, it looks like.
Wow, he does take it left. Trying to get it up and over.
Oh,
and he
bet.
does.
What a shot there.
Wow. Goes all the way to the back of the green.
Play there.
But yeah. That was not a play that a lot of people would have decided to go with. That was a fascinating decision by Koepka, and it pays off. Koepka will have an eagle putt coming up at the 7th. Seventh hole, the par 5 7th, an opportunity for these golfers to try to make up some ground, but Garcia in trouble.
He found the water with his second shot, and now Speith, his third, coming back up the ridge. Oh, wow. And miss hit with his second shot. No excuse there. And what a second shot by Koepka from the pine straw down the left-hand side. Took an aggressive route up the left. He'll have an eagle look. Now Garcia will be dropping here, playing his fourth. This was a crucial hole for Garcia. Sitting at 6 over par. Current cut line at +4. A lot of work to do. Still has an opportunity though where the ball entered, maybe to save his par. You have to come up and over the bunker. Not much green to work with. Green works away from him.
Should I measure it, or should I measure for 2 clubs? Looks good. Thanks. Looks like it. Thank you.
Well, where he took, you can take 2 club lengths, then it can roll 1 club length. So that's within probably the 3 club lengths from where it entered the hazard. But that is a very interesting drop there. When you take relief from a hazard, you can take 2 club lengths, then drop inside that 2 club length, then it can roll up to 1 club length. And certainly rules official, walking scores, rules official with each group. Great sound of that bunker shot. He'll have that left to save par.
That's a big putt for Sergio coming up. There's just not a lot of opportunities down the stretch. Yes, I know about 13, 14, and 15, but after that, where are you going to get birdies?
That was why this hole was so crucial. We talked about it back at the tee, and he was set up perfectly. We saw that second shot. Ball was so well below his feet, and the question was, can you start it far enough left? And never got it started. Actually started right of the flagstick, then bled off to the right. Koepka will be next. What a heroic shot he played from the pine straw up the left-hand side. It was a huge drive, but a chance. I couldn't believe. I thought he might go right, take it out to the water, and hook it away from the water. He chose to go left and hits this absolute bullet. Just lands it short of the green, gets it all the way back here. He'll have an attempt at eagle. the ship after back-to-back bogeys at 5 and 6.
75 feet away for Brooks Koepka. Slow down.
Not bad.
All right, that left for birdie. Go back to that second shot, though. It seemed like the play would be out to the right of the tree. Instead, he goes high up to the left.
Covers the club head just above the ball and absolutely just traps it against the pine straw. Solid strike. Such a bullet. Lands on the putting surface. That's crazy good there. Risky shot.
Well, our featured grouping has yet to produce a birdie today. Jordan Spieth try to change that right here from just off the green.
He made a mess of this hole after the tee shot. No excuse at all to make par here for Speith. Think about that shot that Koepka hit, and first thing that came to my mind off the pine straw was Mickelson at Augusta. A little different though. That was on Sunday afternoon. This was on Friday, but still the same type of shot. Risky shot. I didn't see that shot left. I actually saw the shot around the tree to the right. And with the clean lie off the pine straw and work it away from the water. Still well done. Now Garcia to save par and remain at 6 over par.
Oh, what a save from Sergio. Remains 2 over on the day and +6 for the championship.
That's just okay. Oh, man, that just found the edge. That had some pace to it too. We haven't seen many putts like that. The majority of the putts we've seen come in with that pace is a big spin out. Good break there for Garcia, but still disappointing. Even though he saved par, but with 220 yards left for his second to walk off with par here on the par 5. Shot dropped, in my opinion. Now Koepka cap off a birdie after a heroic second shot from the left-hand pine straw.
Just inside 6 feet. And the first birdie of the day for our featured grouping. It comes from Brooks Koepka at the par 5 7th hole, so he gets 1 back and now 2 under for the championship. 6 shots off the lead held by Kevin Kisner. Kisner by 4 over Olesen, and then a tie for 3rd, and Koepka at 2 under par. As we take a look at the par 4 8th hole.
Tee shot down the left-hand side. It'd be surprising. We saw McIlroy play driver here, but I think the smart shot is lay it up short there, 350-yard hole to a hole location in that back corner. Now it's guarded by a little ridge on the right, little ridge on the left. You've got to be able to get it back there. I think if you're going to hit a full shot, you got to lay it well back or go ahead and hit driver and get it close to the green and try to run it up that ridge. And there is those ridges I speak of to the front and to the left of this hole. You got to have the right yardage. If you're laying up from the back of the tee, you got to leave yourself with a full shot so you control the spin. And Koepka, as we saw McIlroy today, just drive it short left of this green, end up making birdie here, doing the same thing. Throughout the day, Koepka has gone to his go-to shot, the power fade, toe line to the left. And just a huge unwind here. Wow, spot on there.
That's like a good line.
I would say.
Chases right up there. Similar spot to where Rory McIlroy was earlier.
Yeah, maybe a little further than
what
Rory had
right.
it up there.
I think you're right.
I thought the tee shot might back off the group up ahead, but it certainly didn't. Speith. High right side, you see the right arm there. One piece takeaway here. Big shoulder turn.
And doesn't like it. Headed left and into the bunker.
He's got his work cut out for him there. He's going to try to fit that ball up that little back shelf there. He had shot from about 45, 50 yards.
Quiet, please, thanks.
Sergio also with driver after a nifty par save a moment ago at the 7th. Big backswing. Sergio crushes one. Great drive from Garcia. And an opportunity here for Garcia and Koepka. Speith with some work to do. Billy Ray, Brown and I step aside. Luke Elvey, Ned Michaels coming up next at the 99th PGA Championship.
Stop.
Came out very heavy.
You have to make a choice. Are you going to take the 9-iron or the 8-iron and blast it out, or are you going to try to pick it clean with a lob wedge or a sand wedge? You mentioned in the practice round we were walking, Justin Rose was trying to pick it and throw it onto the green. But Jordan understands the situation. From there, he can still make par. Long of the green, brings a big number into the equation.
Garcia, well, this is a much better position. Right up near the neck of the fairway, close to the green. Couple over today, 6 over for the championship. Is the Masters champion. And it just hangs on that top shelf. Spent 5 shots at the Green Mile yesterday. It doesn't discriminate, does it? If you've got a green jacket, the Green Mile doesn't look after you. And, well, he's just coming off a recent wedding. Got married to Angela Atkins. Been a big year for Sergio Garcia. Been a big summer for Brooks Koepka. As his ball sitting down in the first cut. Made the group's first birdie of the day back at the par 5 7th. Held aloft the US Open trophy just 6 weeks ago.
Plenty of green to work with. Looks like he can get enough club behind it. High route, center of the green. Should just run its way up. I love this whole location, though, because everyone guarding against chasing it through. Right on the tightrope of where, yeah, you think it's going to be good, and then it just runs another 5 feet and trickles off the back edge, and from there, hard to make even a 5.
Well, it is a precarious hole location, isn't it? Because coming into the green, they're pitching into the grain up the slope, but once it gets to the hole location, anything beyond it is downhill down grain. So you have to be so precise on approach, even though it's a short shot.
Exactly. Nobody hits these shots maybe better than Jordan Spieth. He does use the leading edge, uses his hands, quick wrist set.
Another touch of class by Jordan Spieth. He's made a career of it. Already searching for the career Grand Slam. At the age of 24, just turned 24 as well. It's been one of the major stories, if not the biggest, heading into this PGA Championship.
And a good look there at the infinity styles, what I call these greens. It looks like right behind the hole, it just drops off the edge of the world. So again, you're going uphill into the green, and it looks like there's no room behind it. So everything in your body and your mind is telling you to leave it short. Just shows how much talent Jordan has, how much skill he possesses around the greens.
Hasn't he handled all the attention on his quest to become the youngest ever? There's just 5 people in the modern era to have won a career Grand Slam, and 3 of them achieved it with that very first opportunity to do so. Jordan suggested he might have 30 chances to win the PGA Championship when it's all said and done, so not too anxious to try and get it done now this year, this week, even though he'd dearly love to. Koepka looking for consecutive birdies to get to 3 under par. He started the day.
Would have learned a little something from the speed, the last 6 feet of Jordan's chip. Bit of a what could have been almost hole high off the tee, but again, he talked about the patience it takes, and he now understands how to win majors. Par, never a bad score.
Much needed birdie for Garcia if he can capitalize here at 8. He admitted coming into the week that he was not in the best of his form. He's had other things to focus on and worry about in his life, and he actually started putting a green number 17 on his golf ball to celebrate what's been a career year for him. Picked up his first major title, as you all know, back in the spring. Made a hole-in-one at the 17th TPC Sawgrass in the Players. And then get married as well. So, a par for Speith, and they'll head to the 9th, the final hole of this outward half. Challenging day here yet again at Quail Hollow. Including Brooks Koepka on the tee here at 9.
Good one. Just swing as hard as you want for Koepka down the left side. Familiar falling and dropping fade, lands softly.
It wasn't that long ago that the draw was the optimum ball flight, but now the power fade is the go-to shot.
Interesting. Feet right, shoulders a little left. That normally doesn't work out all that well.
Go, Jordan!
Oh, a nice little kiss off of the rough. Very fortunate. That could have nestled down deep into the rough.
Talk about the fact that Jordan Speith doesn't really have any out-and-out strength in his game beyond the ability to putt, which is, you know, not even close to true. You have to say that is the best golf mind in the business. Certainly an intangible that he possesses. A squeeze power fade come out, you'd imagine, for Garcia.
Yeah, just throttled one back on 8. Same swing.
Nice to have that as a go-to swing, safely in the right half of the fairway. I'll take the stroll up this 9th fairway. We'll take a quick break, come back with their approach shots. The 3 major champions of 2017 taking a stroll around Quail Hollow. Let's take a look where their drives ended up off the tee here at 9, an uphill par 4. Plenty of distance as you'd expect from Brooks Koepka. Where's the best angle to attack from this fairway to that hole location?
The whole location, Nick? Back right, 26 on. 8 from the right. You would think Speith but Koepka with his high fade ball flight, ball will be slightly below his feet in prime position. 5th most difficult hole today. Only 7 birdies have been made. Again, cannot go long here. See the slope, and it's heavy. A false back, if you will.
So a lot of the greens here at Quail Hollow filter off at the edges, at the front, and at the back. They're more raised surfaces, which really puts a premium on ball striking.
It's so hard to get the depth perception. It looks like a sliver of a green. And so you know you don't want to go long, and so you end up coming up 30 or 40 feet short. And what a test these greens present from 40 feet. And long here especially difficult because that's where all the players exit the green to go on to the 10th. So you'll be back into the green and probably sitting down.
Talked about the joy in Sergio Garcia's life. His caddy, Glenn Murray, became a father straight after the Masters as well, so he celebrated being the bagman for Sergio and then enjoyed parenthood. 5-iron for Garcia was the call. Looking for a few red numbers, trying to get some momentum heading to the turn.
For Garcia. See the flags just trying to get a little air under them, but nothing much to speak of. Right at the television tower and drop it straight down.
Well, we had a lot of thunderstorm activity in the region, but fortunately it missed us, and you can see there's a real lull now, next to no breeze. Calm waters on the lake, and down in these thick trees too, Ned. There's no wind to speak of.
This will be a fun shot. Little punch cut coming our way. Try to land it in the front and have it skitter to this back right hole location. On 26, danger lurks at 28. No room for error.
In between clubs the whole time. Hard to control the distance. The green's certainly a little softer than they were on day one, and this was a tabletop yesterday. Balls were bounding right through the back.
A little bit of breeze yesterday dried them out. A little bit of rain today helped soften. Still very difficult. Jordan standing in the rough, ball in the fairway.
This has been his strength this season, the approach shots. Good line, but coming up half a club shy.
So intelligent. He knows, though, you cannot go long. You can't make the unforced error from the fairway. Same thing that he did on 8, where he could have put himself in a bad spot. Still made par.
As you mentioned, just a short iron in the hands of Brooks Koepka. You can overpower Erin Hills, you can overpower anything. So 3 chances to get it close here at 9, and they're all there or thereabouts. What would you give a grade of a B, B minus?
I think the only one who gets the B, and really is probably mentally an A, is Jordan Spieth. Sergio looked like he was in between clubs, so always a hard decision to make. But Koepka, he knows you cannot be long. It's funny, I watched Brooks work with Claude Harmon III on the range. Mark Immelman, our teammate, he and I were standing there for a good 20 or 30 minutes watching Koepka, and he was struggling, couldn't get the ball to work left to right. He was hitting pulls and flashing out fades to the right. Got to the point where Claude was just sitting down on his phone. Even Butch came over, they had a little chat. He looked extremely frustrated, and finally he just stopped hitting balls. So you would have thought, maybe he's not in form, not feeling well. The emotion starting to drain out of him from the win at the U.S. Open. but he just comes out and starts playing good golf.
Sergio Garcia has a few concerns as he makes the turn. 6 over. He's outside the cut line at the moment. Right on 70 players at +4 or better, which suggests it could shift out to +5 shortly. It has been drifting back and forth throughout the course of the day. It started out at 3 over, Ned, and given how tough Quail Hollow's been playing, we know the finishing stretch is very difficult. Do you expect that number to go out as the afternoon progresses?
I'm going to answer this first as a player, and then second as an analyst who's studying the scores. And I would say as a player, yes, it's going to go to 5. Because I know if I were anywhere near the cut, I'd be praying for it to get to the number where I was. You want any opportunity to play the weekend of a tournament, but especially a major. But I don't think, I think it'll end up staying at 4. The weather has passed now, so temperature should stabilize. There shouldn't be a lot of wind or climate shift. The greens may be a little softened by the sprinkling of rain that we had.
Well, those at 5 over include Adam Scott, Kevin Chappell, Charles Schwartzel, Xander Schauffele, a number of players who'd be itching to get into the weekend. Koepka's going to be first to play here through the green at 9. Wonderful touch for a big man. He's got all the power in the world, but his short game is equally impressive.
This is a filthy shot, though. Ugh. Everything about that was hard. A lot of grass behind the ball, on the upslope, into the grain. So it's hard to catch it clean. Probably going to ride the face. You know it's going to come off hot, and then you're going to chase it 20 feet by. So what do? You decel a little bit at the bottom, catch a little more grass than you meant to, and you get that result. The mistake was missing long with his second shot.
That was your pointer to the intelligence of Jordan Spieth. Just don't go long. It's okay to be half a club shy. Just don't go long. Different story here, though, for Sergio, just on the back fringe. Able to take the putter out. Really, with the way he chips the ball, it's almost a better option for him.
And wasn't it interesting watching him take that drop on 7, the par 5? Dropped it into the sand. Such a good bunker player. It's all about knowing your game. Kind of hard to predict. Might bounce and come out with more topspin. Instead, it comes off dead. Good point you made. Curious decision not to chip it. As talented as he is with a wedge in his hand.
Well, right throughout his career, his putter has plagued him. Certainly stepped up at the right time, but it was more the ball striking down the stretch at Augusta National, and it was certainly one of the most popular victories we've had in the game for quite some time. Even though the likes of Jordan Spieth has done what he's done, and since Tiger's disappearance from the world stage, Sergio, who'd been tormented by the big championships, really fought the demons within to finally break free of that and become a major champion. And really, there were few people in the game that weren't wrapped for him. Now Spieth, 30 feet, hasn't been comfortable on the greens yet. This looks better. Really, he said, with the exception of the last 5 holes of the Open Championship, didn't putt very well that week. He said, it gives me so much confidence to know I can win a major now without needing my A game with my putter. And, well, just the lone bogey in that outward half of 36. Wants to try and put himself in a position to contend heading to the weekend. Given all his strengths, how far back do you think is too far if he
I was just thinking that. And first of all, make note of the stress-free pars that he makes on 8 and 9. And if Koepka makes par here, a lot of stress, has to get up and down, make the 8 or 10 footer. But at 2 over par, Jordan Spieth is 10 behind Kevin Kisner. But Kisner has never won a major. And this golf course will certainly stand up over the weekend. So if he can get it, I think, to red numbers, 1 under, within 7, absolutely realistic to have a chance.
Brooks Koepka turned up here at Quail Hollow, knowing that his game stands up to major championship stress and pressure. Not only with that victory at the US Open, he's had tie for 5th and a tie for 4th in the last 2 starts at the PGA. 6 top 10s in total in just 16 starts in majors, so he thrives on the biggest stage. It's been an Achilles heel all season. Down in the 150s in putting on the PGA Tour. Disappointing outward half when he was starting outside the cut line already. So Garcia steps off the 9th green, 7 over, needing at least a couple deep. As they head to the second 9, why don't we take a look at